I wanted to talk about this article where it was finally revealed that yes, Sony does pay to block games from coming to Game Pass and from coming to Xbox, in some cases forever. I swear I read this in one of my videos, but let's go over what's going on right now. So the long and the short of it is we've known for a long time that Sony pays to block games from Game Pass. Sony pays a cross-play tax. And it feels like because of this whole Microsoft trying to buy Activision thing, a lot of this stuff is coming to light for some people for the first time. Now, I'm going to be referencing Windows Central Jez Corden. Now, I know Jez is aware of this happening, but basically the headlines that were going around Christmas time were that Microsoft confirms that Sony has blocked these 4 games from hitting Xbox forever. Now, exclusivity agreements aren't something new, but I think it's something that has been surprising for a lot of people. And the reason I swear I went over this is because it references a document that's dated October 31st, and it's Microsoft's response to the issues statement that was made around that time. I don't know if that's when this was written, but regardless, there's one statement that everybody's latching onto, and that is that exclusivity strategies are not uncommon in the games industry, and other market participants have access to their own content. Both Sony's and Nintendo's exclusive first-party games rank among the best-selling in Europe and worldwide. Current Sony exclusive content includes prominent first-party titles such as The Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima, God of War, and Spider-Man. And here's the line that everybody's latching onto. In addition to having outright exclusive content, Sony has also entered into arrangements with third-party publishers which require the exclusion of Xbox from the set of platforms these publishers can distribute their games on. So that would mean period. Some prominent examples of these agreements include Final Fantasy VII Remake, meaning no, we will never get Final Fantasy VII Remake on Xbox, or at least by we, I mean people that would prefer to play it on Xbox. Bloodborne from Software, the upcoming Final Fantasy 16, which is kind of a bummer to hear that nobody's going to get to play that on the Xbox platform. I'm still going to play it. It's one of my most anticipated games of the year. And the recently announced Silent Hill 2 Remastered from Bluebird Team. Nintendo exclusive content includes well-established, globally famous, and iconic franchises such as Super Mario, Zelda, Xenoblade, Pokemon, and Animal Crossing. Now, the reason I think that people are latching onto this is because Sony is crying afoul about the possibility, which isn't going to happen, the possibility that Call of Duty could be an Xbox exclusive down the road. Well, they have blocked Final Fantasy VII Remake, Final Fantasy 16, Silent Hill 2, and Bloodborne from Software from ever coming to the Xbox platform. And that's confirmed via these court documents that were, or this official response from, I believe it's Microsoft to, let's see who they were responding to, the FTC, the CMA. They were responding to the CMA. That's why I couldn't find it, because it was in the big CMA one, and I was looking for their FTC response. But this is something that we've known for a long time. And in addition to that, we've also known that, Sony for a long time blocked crossplay until Epic Games sort of twisted their arm with Fortnite and said, look, we're going to do this anyway. You do what you have to do. We're going to do what we have to do. And when there's a game that big that is bringing you in that amount of profit, you can kind of get away with that. Now, the internet reacted to this, and a lot of people sent this to me. And to me, I already know about this stuff. This is what I talk about when I say I like Sony games. I like Sony developers. I like what they work on. But if you don't understand why I don't like Sony corporate, this kind of stuff happens a lot. And I'll give a few examples in just a second. But first, if you've watched this long, thank you so much for watching. Please consider hitting subscribe, hitting that bell to know when notifications go live. More so the subscribe, because I have this goal of hitting 100,000 subscribers. And when I do it in the middle of the video, I hope you're still watching and enjoying the content and getting some sort of value out of it. Thank you for watching. Let's help me get to 100,000 subs, because half of you aren't subscribed. And if all of you hit subscribe right now, I would stop doing these middle promos, because I would hit the 100,000 subscriber goal. So thank you so much for helping me get there. Continuing on, though, we've seen some reactions about this. So Jez Corden talked about the story and how a lot of these titles will likely never come to the Xbox platform. And then Garrett Atkins, oh, this is for a different story actually, but basically, the whole argument is that the FTC wants to block this deal, and Call of Duty developers daydreamed about an Xbox acquisition, and he kind of has a thread about the whole case. But the long and the short of it is, Sony has had trouble with indie developers, an issue which they recently fixed due to Shuhei Yoshida's involvement, and they've kind of gotten back on track with treating them right and making sure they have prominent placement in the store. They've had issue with the crossplay tax, as I like to call it, where basically if games made a certain amount of revenue on other platforms, they had to pay PlayStation more money or something like that. I don't really understand how it worked. And as far as I know, that's still intact because Sony asked to have those documents scrubbed from the Epic versus Apple versus Google case that I covered like a million years ago. It feels like in another life. So when we see this stuff like Sony's paying companies to block things from Game Pass, I feel like I've made like 3 videos about this. So when you want to know my response, it's like, yes, this is exactly the kind of corporate stuff that they pull, which makes me not like corporate Sony. I don't like a lot of the corporate stuff that they do. However, do I really fault a company for having exclusives? No. And my stance on that confuses a lot of people. I don't care if you have exclusives. I care when you go around pretending like they're a bad thing while you're paying for Call of Duty exclusive content, while you're paying to actually block games from ever coming to the Xbox ecosystem that would otherwise be third party. And so you're playing the victim, but you're doing exactly what you're claiming to be a victim about. And the game that they're claiming to be a victim about is Call of Duty, a game that for the next 10 years will still come to the PlayStation platform. It's just ridiculous. And I think like it should be called out, and a lot of people do call them out on that. So yes, you can bring up Bethesda and how Microsoft has those games as Xbox exclusive now, but I don't really have an issue with that. My issue is mainly a company crying about another company having exclusives when they've been using that practice forever, basically, right? So anyway, let's see if they cover off on anything interesting basically here. The drama continues, and Microsoft published its response to the United States FTC over its lawsuit, skewering its odd position of wanting to protect the market leader over consumers. Microsoft published a similar response to the UK CMA as well a couple of months ago, and seemingly confirmed that what many of us already expected was true. Final Fantasy VII Remake basically never coming to the Xbox platform due to timed exclusivity, or actually due to a deal where it's just not coming. In addition to having outright exclusive content, Sony has also entered into agreement with exactly what I just read, right? Final Fantasy VII Remake, Bloodborne, Final Fantasy 16, Silent Hill 2, never going to come to the Xbox ecosystem. So that's my take on it. And that's always been my take on sort of the situation. I hope that's clear to you, like why I don't like it when Sony is out there talking about how nervous they are about Xbox doing exactly what they do all the time. Xbox has done it also, but to suddenly pretend like it's a bad thing that you don't want to happen, I don't know. It's a tough one for me to give you the nod on. I think this deal is going to go through. I think nothing is going to change in the near future. And if you want to know what keeps happening, be sure to hit that subscribe button right here on this channel. Hit that bell, because I'm going to be covering these stories. Covering that one because a lot of people asked me to talk about it. I feel like I had read it already like months ago, and that's the only reason I didn't cover it. But you know, it's slow for the next few days before January 3rd when we get that initial hearing with the FTC. So be sure to check that out. Thank you so much to the members for supporting. If you want to become a member, I post all these videos with no ads. You can click that join button right down there. The whole fam is sick, so I apologize if I look more disheveled than usual in these videos. But if you want to check out the CMA letter that videos are over here. The CMA letter that I read a while back, you can see that response here where this was likely covered, and hit that subscribe. I'm going to get out of here. I'll see you for the next one. Bye for now, everybody.